Hi, Kitty.
Hi.
We're gonna talk about all the stuff we want to make.
Yeah, it was hard getting here.
It was, but it's our very first little recording podcast, so we are just figuring it out. I gotta stop shaking my head. Do you want these? Can I put them
No,
over
I
here?
don't want my glasses.
Hey, should I try going without glasses?
I'm more comfortable without my glasses on, but I don't need them for up close.
I need them to see. What are some of the things you want to make?
I have pictures I wanted to show you.
Oh, fun.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you this skirt.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a pattern that...
That is so
The
cute.
pattern is for this short skirt. It's crocheted. It has like tears on it.
I'm drawing a picture of it.
This person by Red Bean modified it to be like a long A-line style skirt, and it's double layered. So there's one layer of crochet on top and one layer underneath.
Oh,
So you can see that white underneath.
that is so cute. So I'm just going to give a quick little picture.
But the pattern is called Hidden Forest Skirt.
The skirt like this, and a little longer one, and they're double layered.
I'm trying to find the creator person also who made it.
So cool. So I think we need to make stuff like that. Like just stuff we've always wanted to have for
Well,
ourselves.
it looks really cool and it looks really flowy. Some of the things I've seen online is that it's really heavy, especially if it's made out of like cotton or something. So I'm trying to pick out yarn right now that I want to make that with. And I've been leaning towards like a lightweight alpaca, but I just like alpaca a lot. And there's like brushed alpaca. I'm like, what if I have a fuzzy skirt? But then it might be too warm. But the main thing I want is to try to make it lightweight as possible.
I was just going to say, lightweight as possible. And even both of those layers, if you really make it double layer.
I would want it to not be like a cool summer skirt. It's like a winter skirt.
Okay.
I prefer...
And then you need to go to Russia or something.
Been to Russia.
So I love the A-line. I love that it's got a waistband. And,
Well, yeah, it's like... The pattern says it's like a Lolita style skirt, which
what is that?
It's like the fashion that's like very roughly... It's like... It's not Japanese, but I think it's like popular to associate it with Japanese.
Well, I think of Lolita as the little girl.
No, it's named that after her, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like very frilly, like
French.
ruffle, maybe French too.
Little seductress.
No, more like cutesy.
Yeah, because she didn't seduce anyone. She was...
I'd never read
Oh my
Lolita.
gosh, she was completely the victim.
That's, I think,
But-
the consensus.
That's the consensus, but she was also neglected, up for grabs by being... I mean, not really. That's a complicated story. I just want to make stuff for myself from now on. I'm not going to try to scale everything like those are my clothes back there, but, I've been making clothes to sell and having big dreams of like selling to big corporate people that have overstock and making upcycle a big thing. But now I just want to make stuff for myself. I have a bunch of dresses in mind with stuff like dresses. I already have a pattern.
Which type of dress? Because I know you make
I like shirt dresses,
shirt dresses a lot, yeah.
but I always want a cinched waist. That's kind of my jam. And I want to make it long, maxi.
I'm super into the maxi look too lately.
Yeah, and
It's
I even want long sleeves.
Part of the fun of a dress is sometimes you have to hold it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I like that idea of some layers because I could do some shears. So I have a bunch of sheer stuff. Like I have a big pile of scarves that I think I'm gonna cut up and use for collars and sleeves and like
How?
I'm gonna I'm actually gonna sew them all together like they do on the IG on Instagram. Well, they just cut t-shirts or they cut things up on the seams and then they make it into fabric and they sew it all together.
Oh, I see. They
and then you cut
they
it.
deconstruct things not as what they are, but just for their bases.
Yeah, just for the fabric medium. There's enough fabric out there in clothes that you could just make anything with clothes cut up and patched. But not only clothes. I want to make some jewelry too. I have a big stack of jewelry stuff over there, and I've never really made jewelry. Hardly ever. Just a little bit. We used to drill holes into shells, make like little shell earrings.
Well, you helped me make a charm bracelet when I was younger.
Really? Like a
like
macrame?
a real... No, like a metal bracelet with charms on it. I was super obsessed. I was like...
I know, but I didn't make it. I just bought you the bracelet.
And some charms.
Yes. I helped you put them on the bracelet.
Yeah, you did.
So that's the extent of it.
I remember it's because I found a part of a charm bracelet that you already had with just a couple charms on it. And I was like, I want a charm bracelet.
No, I always wanted to give my daughter the best charm bracelet. Do you still want charms? Do you still have it?
I still have it somewhere. I don't need any more charms.
Well, I
had like a cool paintbrush and a palette with a bunch of colors on it. I had a 4-leaf clover. I had a little elephant. But the paintbrush one was the best one. It was the one that you started out with.
You wanted to be an artist?
No,
I just from an artist family.
I just thought it was pretty, the little pendant.
I always wanted a charm bracelet because my older sister had the best bracelet. She just had an amazing bracelet. I thought, we'd give you one. And so I think the actual bracelet, I spent a lot of money on so you could actually have it for the rest of your life.
Maybe. I don't remember that part.
Do you still have it?
Somewhere.
Okay.
I have a jewelry box I just never open.
Okay.
I have that in there, and then I also have the pearls that Aunt Janet gave me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because they're just so pretty.
Well, you should wear those. I wear
them every once in a while. I wore them to a wedding. I wore them to my graduation.
You know what we should do? Every podcast, we should wear our new clothes with our favorite stuff.
Our current favorite made item.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a cool idea. Well, what about you? You're wearing something you made.
So I'm wearing this top. I basically just cut off the collar, cut off the cuffs. Yeah, and this is kind of my style. I like the cameo on the outside. I've always liked this.
Layering.
Yeah, I'm a layerer. I am going to do more upcycling because I love it. And I have a lot of clothes. I have just tons of stuff. But guess what else I want to make? I want to make some kind of art with scraps of clothing where like
flat art.
Yeah, like I want to make little living room scenes and stuff like you see in galleries. I want to make some real
you totally have done that kind of stuff before too, but I've seen it where like in quilting contexts where people are quilting big scenes with a bunch of different types of little fabric pieces.
Yeah, it's like you use it as like shading, as like you do with paint, or I guess that's what mosaic people do. And I want to do some collage with fabric. And I have scraps over there. I have this whole table full of junk. So I could just look over here and see all the stuff. I even have a file right there. Make and meditate. I also want to make a bunch of stuff with you, like stuff that you want to make.
I want to be better at sewing this year. If I did have a 2024 goal, maybe I shouldn't even say be better. I should learn how to sew.
Well, we're gonna set up some sewing machines because I'm having some workshops here, and the regular domestic machine is so much easier to use than
Than
my power
yours. Yours is terrifying.
So I'm Caroline on film trying to sew on the industrial machine. Anyway.
All you keep saying to me is, don't let the needle go through your fingers. Don't let it happen.
Keep your hands out. Yeah.
It could. It's easy.
No, so you hold on to the edge back here, and then you barely touch the pedal. Oh gosh, you know what I found? I found this really pretty chiffon dress over there, and I was gonna cut it up.
What's chiffon? Is that?
So chiffon is that sheer see-through. I have a whole story.
You know, I
about
do
that.
know chiffon because they would always talk about it in Project Render.
Oh yeah, how
You're
hard
sewing
it is to...
with chiffon, and you only have 2 hours.
The hardest thing in the world to cut. And I know, I've told you the story how I, Beth Schaefer, she knows, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. She had me, so she was the designer, and she had me come in on like a Saturday, or I think it was a Sunday, because Saturday is we always worked. Or, I don't know, a weekend, by myself.
What day of the week was it again?
It's the weekend. In the fashion industry. And so she had me come in by myself to cut like these 4 by 4 foot squares of chiffon. So I had to lay them all out and cut them. Can
you only do one at a time?
You could, but I totally wasted this silk chiffon because I just laid it out all, and I just wanted to get my 4x4s, but then I had so many little pieces and I just didn't do a really good job, but it's okay.
You're not part of the problem anymore.
Part of that fashion industry problem. No, I'm part of the solution. Like whatever we make, we have to think about where it's going to end up. Are you going to hand it down to your daughter? Are you going to will it to a knitting aficionado? Are you going to pull it all apart and re-knit with it?
I've already done that a few times.
You have. I've seen you pull apart perfectly good things. So it's just
sometimes you finish something with the knitting and you know that you spent like hours and hours and hours on it, and you just don't like it and you don't want it, and you want the yarn that you used for it.
Now that I see how valuable the yarn is.
The yarn's insanely valuable sometimes, especially if you're getting like really nice yarn. It's just why use it on something you're not using all the time.
Can you buy like hand knitted sweaters at the Goodwill?
I have seen like thrifts of people being like, look at me, I found this hand knit sweater, it's beautiful and perfect, and I'm looking.
You pull it apart.
Well, some people buy machine knit sweaters for that. Usually when people find hand knit sweaters in the store, I don't think they're pulling it apart. They're like happy to have a hand knit sweater. I know there's this one person on YouTube who she like found a hand knit sweater, like a vintage hand knit sweater. She found the pattern that was used for the vintage hand knit sweater, and then she made her own to copy the one she had already bought. Oh. And it was like, that's kind of fun to just like keep using that vintage pattern.
That's a stealth move in the fashion industry. You buy something and you copy it.
Well, not even. She just wanted to see, like, she just was excited to find the old sweater, and she was already planning on making it or something. And, like, to me, like, I would never knit the exact same sweater twice.
No, well, even when you copy it, you can't copy it perfectly.
Well, that's what she was figuring out. She was like, well, here, I can see the original pattern, and I know the one I made has these errors, and the one that I found also has different errors. So everyone is doing different things. That's why it's cool. Each piece is different, even if you're following the same thing. It's always going to be different.
Yeah, so it's, called inspiration or appropriating something that's already been done for your own use. But I think that's perfectly okay. It's always going to have your touch, your style. And the more you make, what's pretty incredible is that the style develops.
It just keeps changing in little ways.
Yeah. So what are you knitting today?
I'm knitting a shirt.
Wow. I love how randomly chaotic those lines are. They look like they're super random.
They're not random at all. There's definitely order to it. And this is a pattern I'm following. It's the Tide.
Oh, there it is on your computer.
Yeah. Here. This is it.
Here,
It's the Tide Loop Tee by Other Loops.
Tide Loop Tee.
Honestly, the pattern was a little bit confusing to read sometimes, but nothing you can't handle. I had to start this shirt twice. I started it once in the size medium, and then I knew this already, but my gauge was off.
Oh.
Which is just like the amount of stitches per inch. It was like too big, but I wasn't going to change my needle size to be lower or get different yarn, so I just went down a size.
Oh, good.
To try to
So
fix it.
lately, that's been my whole spiel to everybody, is that sizing is subjective. Like,
it's not subjective. It's just really easy to change it, and it's based on a metric that's made up already.
Well, it's also not that standardized as you might think.
It's not standardized at all.
And so I always tell people that my sizing runs big. So my extra large is really like a size 18. It's huge. I just have people try on different sizes.
Well, you also are really encouraging of like the oversized look with your things, I think.
Sure, yeah. No, so when I see like a little teeny tiny person, I think they could wear the extra small, or they could try on the extra large and go like really oversized, that Japanese look, or Billie Eilish or whatever. I'm looking at some of the stuff I have made. I'm looking at some of these weird trivets. Do you remember these?
Those the fabric samplers?
Oh, I'm just going to show you because I thought this is such a cool idea, and I thought I made it up. And I put these two lids together to make a closure, or a trivet, and I thought they were really cool for...
What do you do with that?
Well, so when you go on a picnic and you needed a flat surface, like you could adjust this, you'd have a whole bunch of different lids stuck in all over. But then this became a really cool thing that you could use as a closure. Like you could take this part and do stuff. Somewhere, and it just reminded me, I made these things. You need two lids that fit into each other. So you could put them on the end of tablecloths for
weights.
For weights, so we don't eat out that much. Outside.
We don't eat outside as much as we have been in the past years. I think the big reason for that. Oh, that's fun.
And then here's when I put a photograph of the kids on a T-shirt. And I used to make these mock T-shirts. This was the actual shirt that I used to wear.
I listened to a podcast, You're Wrong About podcast.
Yeah.
Where she is talking about the origins of the influencer.
Oh.
And just like how like content creator became a job online. And I'm butchering their story, but they talked for a long time about mommy vloggers in the early 2000s. She was like, it was the first time people could like hear about what women were doing every day. Because people would always like in magazines they talk about like glamorous or glossy things, and on the internet these women would just be saying like, I'm so tired all the time. I can't take care of all these kids, I have no time to myself, but I'm doing it anyway, kind of thing.
So I had a blog way back then, and it was called What I Was Wearing, and I would document what I was wearing every day, but I kept wearing Tevas shorts and a T-shirt
every day.
It wasn't very glamorous. Yeah, it's like, okay, how much do I love Tevas? I'm wearing Tevas again today. So it's pretty boring, but it's still out there in the blogosphere. And then other people started just doing it like crazy. But there was a author, Irma Bombeck, who used to write about the trials and tribulations of being a mother. She wrote these books like Cherries in the crystal bowl, or I don't know what she said. But it's all about, like, you cannot do anything perfect. And her real life was all about, like, cleaning toilets and stuff. So that's what the mommy bloggers were talking about. And even now, mommy bloggers constantly talk about being tired and that it's okay to go and have a coffee by yourself in the middle of the day. And of course it's okay to do
Yeah,
that.
well, like, of course, and it's just interesting because the way anything happens when women do something, a bunch of people are upset about it.
Oh,
people were like, especially once they were trying to get monetized or once they started putting ads on their site. Like, nowadays, no one blinks twice about that. People are like, oh, cool, you're getting money now for what you're doing. But in the past, people were like, how dare you start putting ads on your websites? Who do you think you are? You're just a mom who's blogging, not acknowledging that it's hard to do that.
Or a job.
Yeah.
No, because I remember seeing these ads. You can make money online by blogging or vlogging. It just didn't seem really legit like you could, but you could. And I wish I'd really tried to do that way back then.
I don't know. To me, it's like content creation is only cool. It's just, I don't know. It's like a lot. It's like for
it's
what?
It's such a full-time job.
I don't want it to be a job
monetize.
even. I just want to talk to you about
No,
things
I
I'm
don't
doing.
want. I just want to hang out. This is like so fun. I know that we have like 20 gazillion billion more things that we both want to make.
Yeah, I have a few more skirt ideas alone, but I
would love to make some skirts with like already made pants. Like, I want to make a ton of really cute upcycle skirts I have so many different ideas.
So, okay, your idea earlier of the collages on a skirt.
Oh, yeah.
And that way you would... Or is that too heavy also?
No, well, so everything I do, because we live in California.
When are we moving?
Or when can we go to... We need to, like, make sure we go to New York in February every year.
You want
That's
to?
next month.
I'll book us tickets if you book us a hotel.
Oh, gosh. I'll book us a basement at a friend's house.
Okay.
Because,
I'd go back. I'm hungry to go back to New York. That was so cool, just being able to move through the city.
It is so fun there. It's like an adult
playground. It really is.
So, the thing to do though, and I just talked to somebody today about that, like, you would just wear like a heavy sweater, or bring a heavy sweater, wear a coat and jeans, and wear the same thing every day. And a nice pair of boots.
if you're going for
like
short
5 days,
term. I'm just trying to see what's going on.
It would be fun to wear sweaters.
I have so many sweater things I want to make. Like the sweater you got for Christmas, not the one I made you, but the
green
long
one?
Cardigan one.
Oh, Eileen Fisher.
I want to make one just like that, where it's long, and I want it cozier. Yours is cozy, but I want mine to be like thick, maybe ribbed.
What are those squares called? Those
pockets?
Like crocheted.
Granny squares
or something?
I don't want it crocheted.
Oh, okay.
I like crochet. I love knitting.
Okay. No,
and the skirt
sweater...
I'm gonna make is gonna be all crochet that I haven't done before.
And you know what else I want to do? Speaking of knitting, I want to patch some... So I do hand embroidery. Mm-hmm. I've always done that since I was a real little kid. And I want to... use yarn to embroider some flowers and cover some holes and stuff.
So like dark colorful sweater that's Dad's that I've kind of taken from him that's knit. It's like multicolored, multi-patterns, and it's hand knit. It's
like a Peruvian sweater.
Yeah, it's like super nice. Grandma got it a long time ago.
Yeah, from Peru.
Yeah, well, she probably got an amazing value for it.
Yeah.
And it's has a bunch of holes in it too that
Ah.
I know I can fix them. I know there's a way to like use a darning needle and like set up ladders to like
Yeah.
put in fake knit stitches, and I even have yarn already that I think I could use for it.
Okay,
So that's a
should
big
we make-
plan of mine is
Do
to
you
repair that sweater.
Want to make that by next week? Am I putting some?
Yeah,
things
I
on
don't
it? Okay, yeah.
I have other things. I'm
All
working
right, so
on this
let's
right
just
now.
show what we make next week. We'll
Okay,
just show
we can
something
try
we
to
make.
do an update. It doesn't
I
have to
didn't
be
even
next
check
week
any
either. It
timer.
can just be
I have
the end
no
of the
idea
month.
what time we started and what time we're supposed to end.
We're not supposed to start or end any time. It's all
Really?
up to us.
Some other things I want to do is I have a lot of t-shirts, and I want to make t-shirts that are just so custom. I just want them so perfectly fitting, and I have patterns. I have like my favorite t-shirts that I've cut up.
Like plain white t-shirts.
Well, that's where I got the pattern, but I want to make some
Well, what do you want
colorful
your
ones.
Peter
I want them to be
t-shirt?
colorful. I'm gonna just serge all the seams, and just really, different styles, like big boxy ones and bell sleeved ones. And then, I made a really poofy sleeved t-shirt, and I want to make more of those with the thing at the bottom, so kind of like a giant leg of mutton sleeve.
The what?
Leg of mutton.
Is that what they're called?
Yes. It's like a Victorian thing. It's like poof, poof, poof. And then it goes down, and, we had little versions of it in the 70s with Gunny Sacks dresses and stuff.
Cool. And you're bringing it back?
Well, no, now Poor Things had these giant puffy sleeves, Victorian sleeves, big round spheres. I want to make some. Actually, I have one dress that's kind of like that, and I guess I want to also make a little bit of a capsule wardrobe.
I don't think capsule wardrobes are real.
Well, you're really good at, you just get rid of all your clothes all the time.
I don't do that. I just I don't like having things when I have no space for those things. So if I had space for it, I would probably have a lot more things, but I just am...
You have about 10 things hanging in the closet.
I am bad about hanging up my clothes too. Most of my clothes are stuffed in the drawers.
Really? Are your drawers full?
Yeah.
Well, you saw what I did this week. I cleaned out all my drawers. I cleaned out my t-shirt drawer, which is like half a square yard. Not really. It wasn't that big. Like a quarter
big
of a
enough.
square yard.
Impressive work.
It was, and I have a whole bag over there with all the t-shirts that, you have these really ratty t-shirts, Caroline, that mean so much to me. I've had them forever, and I love them, and I would even wear them out at night as recently as last year. Like, oh, here's my ratty t-shirt.
And last year was only 20 days ago.
Right. But I decided I'd try to make it, like, utilize the threadbareness of them and just celebrate like lacy. I'm gonna add
those
like
types of shirts they're hard to come by because you can't buy them like that.
No.
I
feel like showing you one is so
it's so threadbare.
The neckline's all chewed up.
I have a few shirts like that where all of the seams have holes around them just from wear and tear. And you're
love
like,
them.
You're like, it's so comfortable
or so soft. I have a old Jack's surf shirt that I can't throw out because it's so soft.
I hear you.
And I never bought that thing. Some boy in our
it just showed up one
showed
day,
up, yeah.
already used, and then we used it further.
So I'm going to use some of the ratty tatty things. And you know what else I want to make? I want to make a t-shirt quilt for us, Mom and Dad, of all the stuff you guys have done in your real life. And we're going to sleep with it so that we'll remember you guys. Because you guys don't care what you've done. But so, yeah, I have a t-shirt quilt project I want to make.
It's all just going to be like FUHS things.
No, I have the cutest things like when you're in zoo camp.
I was in
when you were
zoo
little.
camp.
Well, I don't think you were, but you did the girls' day. I have like that T-shirt.
Oh.
I have like really special T-shirts that you guys would throw out, and I'd go, no, I'm gonna make a quilt.
So those are things I would keep in a different life if I had space. I'd be like, oh, this can go in a box somewhere, but I don't have room for a box somewhere. So
I'm gonna make one.
I say,
anybody could borrow it, use it.
No, better off.
Yeah, we're
better
gonna
off
have
anywhere else, like cut up in a quilt. I like that idea.
And like Mick went to this super expensive play school, whatever it was, preschool. It's like college tuition, and so we have a bunch of those little T-shirts. T-shirts and stuff. So cute. I have a box, and I just have to make it. I need to just get that thing made.
That's so funny. What are you gonna put on the backside? Are they gonna be T-shirts double-sided?
So I think I'm gonna have to make 2 and learn how to quilt it together. It could be like the early years and the later years, or something like that. And all
Whatever
3 of you are on there.
We could have sections or chronologically.
So I'm probably not going to organize it that well. It'll be like by...
Done is good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll like put it together. So that's another thing. I think I'll write that down. Let's make that T-shirt quilt. So that isn't really high on my...
Well, let's think about the top 3 things you want to work on in the next month, and just physical things you want to make. None of your extracurriculars you're working hard on.
I want to make a skirt, and I do want to make some art with scraps.
Collage art.
Yeah, I don't even know. I have some frames. And
you have a ton of stuff. I
hear
you on that because it was super fun making those bookmarks. Remember, we did it at the cabin.
Oh yeah, those were
fun to make, and we just had scraps to work with. So I think any amount of fabric you have laying around is probably enough.
Scraps. I just want to make scraps something.
Well, I do that with you. I'd even just make more bookmarks just to, I don't know.
Well, I also think
turn into a big.
It could, like you said, be like a section on a skirt or on the back of a jacket or. No, we could. Oh, there's these little patches. Did you know you can make patches with? You can have them like glued, so you can make your own iron-on patches.
I didn't know that.
Anyway, I'm gonna put patches, cause so a lot of the things I want to make have to do with like video. I want to videotape some stuff. I also have like how to make a knee patch video, and I want to just put that out there, make a little PDF how to. I'm not wrapping up because I think we're going to think of something else. I know there's a lot we want to make. Do you want to make a dress, a shirt, or you just have your skirts in mind right now?
I just have the few things that I talked to you about in mind. I have a few other projects that are on the back burner that I don't even need to talk about because
oh my gosh, I have a whole shelf full of stuff Caroline wants to make. But we'll pull that out next time. Okay? So next time we'll see the shelf.
I don't want to make any promises. I just want to want to take a look at it though. I do want to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's right over there. I'll show you on the way out.
I bet I could guess a few things that are in there.
Like what?
Well,
that really pretty fabric. Yeah. That fabric we bought. Yeah. So, we could be a whole, season ahead. We want to make seasonless stuff, but we could make some stuff for spring.
I only want to make winter things. Okay. I'm serious. So everything I think of is a winter thing I want.
Well, I want to make some sweaters. I have some sweater stuff, and I just want to serge them together. And I think I want them just boxy with a little mock turtlenecky thing, because that black and white sweater that I inherited from you, I love that thing.
Well, that was one of the cooler sweaters I've ever had.
It's all black on the back and white on the front, and so I made a big stain on the front, and I need to I want to make an embroidery cover animal butterfly or something over that hole.
I want to try to make an exact pattern out of that sweater.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a
Let's
design.
make a pattern.
If I could ever do knitwear design stuff,
Oh gosh, I should show you how easy it is.
I've seen what they do. I've looked at a lot of patterns and stuff.
Well, we should work with some
there's a lot of
measuring
like
tape.
testing that goes on behind the scenes with those guys. Sometimes, if you're like good enough.
So we used to have to make like little 5-inch squares to see. We'd cut it out of every kind of fabric.
Well, yeah,
we're
there'd
using.
be like swatching and stuff like that. But like what I've seen happen too with knitwear designers is their pattern goes out into testing, and they have like 10 to 15 people make their test.
To see
a test
different
knit.
ways
So
people
different
knit.
sizing, different ways that people are gonna adjust it, different yarns, just testers,
Yeah.
So
So
it's
I
hard
should
to
do
test
that.
your own things.
I made some patterns that I'm trying to sell online.
Well, I
gonna,
don't know what it's like for sewing patterns, but I'm sure there's similar tester websites. There's tester websites for knitting.
Oh, interesting.
Like I've thought about being a tester a few times. It's an unpaid work.
Still,
but they
would be
give you
fun.
the pattern and they give you like support. It seems fun. The only thing is that I haven't found anything I want to test for. I've looked a couple of times, and it's just
that
like
sounds like it would be interesting.
my problem is I'm bad at following patterns. I see what needs to happen, and I go, well, I need to do it this way instead, and then I change it all. But I've been trying
more of a guide for you.
No, I've been trying to be better about following the patterns. I'm just still working on it. So I wouldn't be a good tester right now, I think. But in the future, maybe. I think I'm skilled enough for it now.
It's sort of like I just throw all directions to the wind. But I used to just follow things really, really good.
Well, once you
in my
know
shirt.
what you're doing, it's kind of like you see what you actually want to do instead of what the pattern wants you to do, Mm-hmm. But it doesn't always, you don't always have the full forethought, you think, when you're making things.
Well, this was our first podcast, Caroline, and what a treat.
Very sweet treat.
And I think it's just going to be about the stuff we want to make.
The stuff we want to make.
Yeah.
This is the Wow Mary podcast. And it's pronounced Wow Mary.
We should call it Anne Caroline.
Wow, Mama.
Oh yeah, Mama. My daughter calls me Mama. Aw. It's always been this sweet. Wait, maybe we'll try to look better or something next time.
I think
we look fine.
I think we look okay.
But look, our hair, if we were the same age, we'd be twins.
It's exactly the same color. Look at it.
Kinda.
No, look, turn your head this way. No, look, this way. That way. Look that way.
Okay.
You see my hair?
Well, look, we both have this thick, straight hair. Let's just swing our hair around.
That's what you want to do.
We have to talk about hair. No, I'm kidding. But we can talk about anything, Caroline. We can veer off the topic.
No,
I think
I'm
making
done.
things.
I think I'm done. I got everything out that I wanted to say.
Oh, good.
I'm mostly excited about the skirt.
The skirt is a great idea.
The skirt just looks so fun. It's a bigger project, though. These are all too short. I don't want a short skirt like that. But it has the pattern.
So that goes all the way up? Oh, you know who made something
layers.
like that? Didn't Janet make something like that?
Maybe she did.
Those are so
this is
cute.
pretty. So the one I like the most is obviously this one. But
I like that vest. Look at that vest.
Oh, I know. She crocheted, I think. Yeah, I think it's crocheted like a corset style top.
So I'm gonna make a skirt too.
But look, I like this brown color.
Yeah. Would you ever just break down and use acrylic? Cause
I would one day. I just really don't like how it feels, and acrylic. It's like it's also heavier on. It's another problem. It's heavy.
Oh my gosh.
So, and it's like it's like not breathable. It is machine washable, but it like
Oh, forget it. Never
it
mind. Don't use
feels
acrylic.
weirdly. I just
But
don't like
we
how
should
it feels.
find some vintage wool. Like find somebody that's getting rid of a bunch of wool.
Yeah, we should do that. And
Go on eBay.
I've been finding less expensive things.
Remember all that wool that we left behind at our friend's house? But she said like she got like mealyworms or something in it.
No, yeah, she said it was unusable.
Oh, that's so sad.
It's fine.
So you should always use teak to protect your wool.
Well, after about 15 years or something.
So we have to build a teak chest
Can't do it.
for all our stuff we want to make.
Christmas next year. I
Let's
want to
build
make a teak chest. How do you get that?
Yeah.
Is that wood?
No, that'd be easy.
Is it easy?
I mean, but unless you know, you probably want it,
No, I'm gonna look.
or
up
maybe
a teak
you probably have to buy something really beautiful.
teak
You know where
chest.
there's one? We have one up in the cabin.
Well, I'm just looking around online.
And it is like you open it up, and I put all the sweaters in it, and that's really how you keep stuff nice. Or have a teak closet. But right now I just use teak little wood chips for everything, and I throw them in my closet. I keep all my closets and drawers closed just in case. And I like closed storage for stuff like that. You know, don't leave it out in the open. Just asking for moths.
I'm looking up how effective teak chests are.
Oh, they're effective.
I'm just looking.
Yeah. What does it say?
So the first result I got is from obsessedwoodworking.com. And I'm going to check it out. It says, how long does cedar wood repel bugs? Is cedar wood the same as teak? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Okay, so I think we have some research to do, and we'll get back to you. I think we're done.
Okay.
Okay?
What do we have
Okay.
to say to end?
We have to say, keep on making stuff. No, make do or done is good. No, what do you want to say?
I like done is good. Done is good, but perfection is better.
Yeah. Okay. Let's sign off with that.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Until next time.